What is up, guys? My name is The Rose, and today this is the Game Corner Episode 1, Part Number 3 for Sunday, January 7th, 2018. Today is my brother's birthday, which is why I'm going to be busy later tonight, so you probably won't see this until tomorrow, unfortunately. This will be Monday when you see this, so look forward to that. Check out Black Sakura on Facebook. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter, and on Twitch. I didn't mention that yesterday. Check me out on Twitch. I do streams over there. I'm 11 subscribers or followers away from Twitch affiliate, so I'm getting pretty close. If you like video games, you like streams, check me out. I stream whatever the hell I feel like it, pretty much. All the links are down in the description box down below, as well as check out my partner, Erin Fitzgerald, the voice actress, fantastic voice actress. Her website, her Twitter, Facebook, and all that nonsense. Well, not nonsense, but you know what I mean. It's all down below. So check all that out after you watch this episode. And starting next week with episode 2, I will be on camera. Once again, I'm joined by Black Sakura co-founder Cypher, and today we are going to go over our top 5 most anticipated games of 2018 from what we know so far.
Mm.
And
that'll be fun.
Then we're going to go over some Nintendo news. So today's going to be pretty Nintendo oriented. I also was hearing something about a January Nintendo Direct, so I don't know how much truth there is to that, but I'm going to look into it during this episode. So, with that being said, why don't we start off with the most anticipated games? Why don't you start with your number 5?
Okay, my number 5 is apparently next month they're releasing Bayonetta 1 and 2 for the Switch. And honestly, it kind of flew under the radar when those games first came out. So I'm rather excited to actually get a chance to try them because I've heard they're really good.
I have played Bayonetta 1 because that one was on the PS3 and Xbox 360. I did not get a chance to play Bayonetta 2 because whenever I wanted to find it, I could not find it in stores anywhere.
Oh, that sucks.
So I am excited that Bayonetta 2 is coming to the Switch, so I can finally play that one, because now that there are more Switch consoles sold than the Wii U, there's going to be more console ports of that, so it'll probably be easier to find.
Yeah.
So
I'm a big fan of Devil May Cry, so I was kind of surprised that I'd never really heard of Bayonetta until after it had become somewhat rarer in my area. And this, obviously, the fact that Bayonetta 2 is Wii U exclusive was kind of like, oh, I'm not gonna bother with this. Like, why would I pay money for a Wii U?
yeah, I mean, I have the Wii U. I was excited when I bought it. There just wasn't that many good games released for it. Like,
No.
I have, I played maybe 8 games total on my Switch.
And most of them are
Or
first
on my
party, right?
Wii U, not Switch. Yeah, yeah, they were all first party, because the Wii U really didn't have any third party, didn't really have any third party companies on board. I mean, they had Koei Tecmo, and that's pretty much all I could think of, because they had Hyrule Warriors, and that was a fantastic game.
I've heard it's really good.
But yeah, on my Wii U, I played like 8 games. Super Mario Bros. Wii U, Super Mario 3D World, Smash Bros. Of course, Mario Kart 8. Like I said, I bummed that one from my nephew. Yoshi's Woolly World, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and Hyrule Warriors, and Super Mario Maker. Those were all the games I played on it. 8 games.
Damn.
So you're saying Bayonetta 1 and 2, you're hyped about that? What about Bayonetta
I'm
3?
super hyped for that.
What about Bayonetta 3? Because we know that's coming out next year, this year as well.
Well, I'm gonna wait and see if I like the first 2 before I make a decision on whether I'm gonna buy the third one.
I see. Well, I'll have to say, my 5th most anticipated game of this year, I'm going to go with the new Yoshi game, because I love Yoshi, and you know that by now.
Yeah, I just saw the announcement for not the announcement, but I just saw it listed on Amazon today for the first time.
Has it been given a name yet? Because I don't think it has been.
Still Yoshi.
Yeah, I don't think it has been. It was first, I think it was first announced at E3 last year, was it? Because I know they announced that game and a Kirby game. And all it said was 2018. And I know I'm pretty sure the Kirby game has been given a name by now. But the Yoshi game still hasn't been given a name. And it looks like Yoshi's Woolly World, but I don't think this one's made with yarn. And Yoshi's Woolly World was fantastic. And pretty much all the Yoshi games play like Yoshi's Island. And I love those games. So I'm excited for that one.
I've never tried it. I was once on a live stream with a friend when he played it, and it seemed alright, but, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was too easy. The only thing I could say about Woolly World was too easy. Other than that, the game was fantastic. So that was my number 5. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Monster Hunter World.
Of course.
I actually just pre-ordered this yesterday.
I knew that was one of your 2 games from January that I know of.
Yeah. So, well, you know what my number 1 is too, then.
Yeah.
The reason that I chose this is because I've never really gotten into the monster hunting genre. Like, I've played Tokiden, I've played Soul Sacrifice, I've played almost every Monster Hunter game, and yet it's not something that I can really get into, because what I find really interesting is that most of my friends who play these games tend to skip the ones that I buy, so it's just really shitty luck on my part. And with Monster Hunter World coming to the PS4, I think I'm finally going to be able to actually enjoy the sort of MMO aspect of Monster Hunter. Plus, the damn thing looks really good. Like, it just oozes style.
See, I never got into Monster Hunter. I've never played a Monster Hunter game, so what exactly am I missing out on here?
The way I would describe Monster Hunter is, like, it's all of the good things about an MMO and grinding without the tedium. Like, I saw a meme today that compared it to almost like loot boxes, in that when you slay a monster, it's like this cycle where you're essentially killing monsters to gather materials to make better equipment so that you can kill stronger monsters. It's like a feedback loop. But the thing about Monster Hunter is that each weapon is like playing a different character. It's the same thing in Tokiden, if you've ever played Tokiden.
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, I don't know, I find it really interesting, and I haven't touched Monster Hunter 4, so I can't really speak about the new things that they've implemented, like, apparently now you can climb on monsters like you're fucking in Shadow of the Colossus, which is really cool.
How about that?
I know, right? Speaking of which, that drops in February, and that is an honorable mention for my list. Like, I never really got into it, but it looks really good. Yeah, so, like, I'm excited to see what they do with the new mechanics that they've introduced for this. I'm excited to see how it plays on the PS4 compared to portable consoles. Because most of, like, the first 3 or 4... Yeah, the first 3 Monster Hunter games were released for the PSP in the West. And I've played 1 and 2, but they're also multiplayer games, so they're really not that fun if you play them by yourself. Then I bought Monster Hunter 3 at a friend's insistence, but it turns out that Monster Hunter 3 didn't have, the only multiplayer that it had was local, which is a problem. And then I skipped 4, because I didn't have a new 3DS with the dual joysticks.
Right.
So now, this one, man, I just, words cannot express how excited I am for this. And if it turns out to be shitty, it might end up on my most disappointing list.
So you're hoping it's going to be a good game, of course.
Well, obviously. Dude, I dropped 80 Canadian dollars. That's like 20 cents US. So, what's your number 4?
I'm gonna go with Devil May Cry 5.
Is that supposed to come out this year?
Yeah, I believe later on in the year. Capcom pretty much did announce it, I'm pretty sure. It's supposed to have a 2018 release date, as far as I'm aware.
I just looked it up, but the website that I was on was like, oh, you're using an ad blocker, how dare you. Slated to release sometime in 2019, which means, 2019. Well, it says the fiscal calendar year of 2019, so that means that between April of this year and March of next year.
Oh, okay. So there is. So it could come out this year.
It could come out this
As
year.
I thought, because I'm pretty sure. Did you use Oh no, I'm on usgamer.net, and this popped up a ad blocker thing too.
Yeah, that was the first one that I went on, and now I'm on the next result.
Oh, I see. So,
yeah.
But I did hear it's coming out this year, so I don't think it's going to be next year. So
have you seen the leaks?
I did.
Oh man, I recently picked up the special edition for DMC4.
I gotta buy that, dude. I gotta buy that.
Oh, dude, playing as Virgil in DMC4 feels so good.
So even if there's a chance this game comes out next year, I'm still gonna leave it on my list as my number 4 because there's still a pretty strong chance it'll come out this year.
Are you gonna pick up the HD collection when it drops on PS4?
Absolutely.
Oh, me too.
Absolutely. I played it on the Xbox 360, and then I played it. I bought it on PS3, and I never replayed it on PS3 because my console burned out on me. So now that it's coming out for the PS4, I'm super excited for that. That drops March 18th this year, I believe.
So which one is your favorite?
Honestly, I've only played each installment one time, so I really don't have a favorite. Okay. Although I would probably pick 2.
Honestly, I'd say 4 is my favorite.
I liked 4, but 4 was the first game that I played in the series. But I really did like the second one for some reason, and the third one pissed me off. Like,
really? Because people don't usually like 2, and people usually say 3 is the best.
3 was good, but like in terms of difficulty, like I got my ass kicked in that game.
Mission, I think it's 19 or 20 in Devil May Cry 3 is just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think that's and that and the final boss fight against Virgil, that literally angered me.
Yeah. So my number 3 is Final Fantasy Dissidia NT.
Yes, I want to play that too.
Yeah. This was the other one that I thought you might have picked up on for the month of January.
That I didn't know it was releasing in January. I knew about Square Enix. They're going to hold a like a live stream type thing for it. I saw that announced as well. I just didn't know it was this month.
Sorry, according to Amazon, it comes out on the 30th.
Really? That's interesting. Yeah. That's a Tuesday,
so I
right?
pre-ordered it.
The 30th. Yeah, that's a Tuesday, so you know what? That's very possible.
Yeah. Which is great, because it means that I'm going to be getting Monhun and then my number 1, and then this, and I'm a student, though, so it's like around midterms, too.
You're going to be really busy.
And I've got so much work I have to do, too, so like...
And then throw in your security job whenever you decide to pick that back up.
Yeah, that's going to be next week that I'm going to start that again. But I'm excited for it. I think that it looks really good. I don't really like some of the stuff that I've seen in the beta. Like I haven't played the beta, but I've watched a lot of streams of it. And from what I can tell, it seems like the characters at the moment look very limited in their movesets, which is kind of a problem. But I feel like that's just because it's the beta. Like I'm sure in the finished release they'll be fine.
Right. And, if not, maybe they'll patch something in to give them a deeper move pool.
Fuck, I hope so.
But my number 3, I'm going to have to go with Mega Man 11. And this may be an obscure choice because I love Mega Man. I've played all 10 games in the main series. I've played Mega Man X 4 and 5 of the X series. And I've also played Mega Man X Command Mission, which was on the PS2 and the GameCube.
I really enjoyed Command Mission.
Fantastic game. Yeah, dude, fantastic game. And that's a game I think I'll stream one day. That game was absolutely fantastic. There was also the Mega Man Legends games that I played. I only played Legends 2. And I did play a little bit of the first one, which was called Mega Man 64, because I played the N64 version, not the PlayStation version.
Okay.
But I don't know why they changed the title for that one, across the 2 platforms. But Mega Man, I am a big fan of Mega Man. Love him. Love the challenge of the series. So the fact that Mega Man 11 was announced and the graphics look really crisp for what's supposed to be an 8-bit game.
It kind of reminds me of, have you played Mega Man Powered Up?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, it kind of reminds me of a blend of that and Mega Man 7, and Mega Man 7 is my favorite one. So I'm really, I think the visuals look absolutely stunning.
See, I liked 8 out of all of them so far. I liked 8 the best. That was my favorite.
It's pretty good.
But yeah, like the graphics for Mega Man 11 look super insane. Like it's supposed to be an 8-bit graphics game, and it literally looks more like 16-bit easily.
It looks great. I'm looking at screenshots of it right now.
Yeah, like when I saw the reveal trailer before Christmas, I was like, yes, this has to be
Apparently,
a thing.
it's all of the art is hand drawn,
Which is great, and it's certainly gonna wash the taste of fucking Mighty Number 9 out of everybody's mouth. That's for sure.
Fuck, I hope so. Like I haven't played it because I was like, oh well, it's gonna ruin my childhood.
Yeah, right. I didn't play Mighty Number 9 either. All you had to do was just watch the trailer, and you knew how bad it was going to be.
It's one of those things where it's like, this could be good, but it's definitely not gonna be.
See, I don't remember. Mighty Number 9 released in 2016, right?
I think so. I don't remember. It was so forgettable after that initial backlash came out that I forgot that it existed.
Because it came out in the summer, and I definitely know it didn't come out last summer. So yeah, it had to be 2016. Because believe me, if it would have came out this past year, I think that would have been everyone's number one most hated game of the year.
Yeah, easily.
So that was my number 3, Mega Man 11.
All right, my number 2, and this is kind of a cop-out, is according to a 2017 Kotaku article, Capcom has announced they're going to be releasing 2 collections of the Ace Attorney games on Switch.
Okay.
So I'm putting both of those as tied for my number 2. Because although they've released Ace Attorney, they've announced a 2018 Ace Attorney game, I haven't played any of the newer ones. I've only played the first 3. So what they're doing is they're making the first collection is going to be 1, 2, and 3, and then they're doing 4, 5, and 6.
Really?
As the second set. So they announced these 2 collections and then a new Ace Attorney game. But I've never played Apollo Justice, and I've never played Dual Destinies or Spirit of Justice. So I was like, I'm not really caught up on the overarching story of Ace Attorney. Not that it really matters all that much. Or any of the new mechanics they've introduced, like the emotion reader thing. I don't know what it's actually called because I keep myself in the dark on things that I like before I try them as much as possible. I don't know if, were you around when I was complaining about, bitching and moaning that someone spoiled the new Star Wars for me?
No, I didn't think I saw that.
Dude, I was so pissed off. But anyway.
Was that during Christmas weekend, or maybe... It had to be while I was in Pennsylvania, because I went to Pennsylvania twice last month.
Yeah, a friend of mine and I were talking Star Wars, and he's like, oh yeah, have you seen the new one? And I was like, no. And he's like, oh yeah, well here's a spoiler for you. And then I went to see it, and sure enough, it was true.
I don't know why people have to spoil shit. It literally annoys me to no end when people do that.
It's like he asked, and it was like, oh, you're gonna be decent about this, and it's like, no, you're gonna spoil it. Thanks. So what's your number 2?
Well, before I mention my number 2, I'm going to make an honorable mention like you did.
Okay.
And my honorable mention is going to be Street Fighter V Arcade Edition. And this is a bit of a cop-out as well because Street Fighter V, as we knew, released in February 2016.
And it was also really incomplete when it dropped.
Yeah, the game was literally still in beta mode. And we're finally getting what is supposed to be the complete version of the game. We're finally going to get arcade mode. And we're also getting a team battle mode. So that will play a bit like Marvel vs. Capcom, the team battle mode. However...
Capcom vs. Capcom.
However, although they're calling this a complete edition, it's technically still not complete because the Season 3 characters are going to start dropping on the same day as this Arcade Edition patch and or Arcade Edition disc comes out. And I mentioned this on part 1. If you don't buy the new disc, which I believe is going to be $40, you can get the Arcade Edition update for free, but you don't get the Season 1 and 2 characters like you would with the disc. So if you don't
Yeah, that
buy,
seems like a cop out.
if you don't buy the new disc, you got to spend $90 if you want everything. If you want it bad enough to get all the characters, all the costumes.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
If you buy the disc, you get everything that's going to be in that patch file. You get the Season 1 and 2 characters, so that's 12 extra characters. But then the Season 3 characters start dropping that same day. I don't know what the first one's going to be. And I don't think we know all of the Season 3 characters for Street Fighter V yet. I know Sakura, Sagat, and Blanca are on the list. And I believe Michael Hagar from Final Fight is going to be on there too. So, but those characters are not going to release all at one time. They're going to release over like the next 6-7 months. So, you buy this arcade edition for $40, and then if you want the Season 3 characters, you got to either buy them separately for $6 a character, or you got to buy a $30 Season 3 season pass to get all the characters and all the Season 3 costumes. So you're still going to spend $70 if you want everything bad enough.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Are you implying that they're not saving all the good shit for Street Fighter 2 for Ultra Mega Turbo Street Fighter 5 Give Us Your Money edition?
See, Capcom promised they weren't going to do shit like this when before Street Fighter 5 was even released, and it seems like they're going back on their word a little bit, because here's version 2 of Street Fighter 5. It's like, sorry, we didn't give you what you expected the first time, so fuck it. Here's what we were supposed to give you, but you have to give us more money for it.
Street Fighter 5 Capcom versus Capcom edition.
And I mean, I'm looking forward to finally having a more complete version of the game, and the way we're actually going to get character stories in 6 different story arcs for arcade mode per character. That's the main reason I'm a little bit hyped up for this, and why I make this an honorable mention.
It does kind of upset me, though, that a lot of the characters that really should have been in the base version have been relegated to what is essentially DLC.
Right. Like Akuma, Guile, Yorian, if I pronounce his name right, or Orion, I think his name is, Jory, who should have been in the base game to begin with since she was in 4. Characters like Sagat, Blanca, Sakura, they all should have been in the game.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
It reeks of a cash grab.
Dude, I believe they put Dan. They fucking put Dan Hibiki in the freaking base game over like all the good characters. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
You know what? I'm not even mad.
Oh yeah, so that's my honorable mention. Now moving on to my actual number 2, and you should see this coming as well, is Soul Calibur 6. Soul Calibur 6, I've played all 5 games in the series so far. I actually own 1, 2, and 5. I have the collector's edition for 5, which came out in 2012. This one was announced at the Game Awards last month. That was a world premiere trailer.
I haven't seen the trailer, but I'm kind of excited. Like, I've played 2, 3, and 4, and I really enjoyed 2, 3, and 4.
I also played that free-to-play one that they did, Soul Calibur Lost Swords.
How was it?
It was all right for a free-to-play game. It wasn't bad, but they made it that so that like when you get to a certain point, it goes from like being free-to-play to like pay-to-win.
Okay.
And it kind of sucks, and I stopped playing it at that point.
Mm.
But I was going to ask you if you're going to play this one since it's a 3D fighter, and I know you don't really care for 3D fighters.
Well, I really don't know, if I'm honest with you, because I really enjoy fighting games. And I really did like Soul Calibur back in the day, but I haven't played 5, so I don't really know what kind of direction they've taken them in since 4. And I feel like 4 was really bare bones compared to 2 and 3.
Well, I could tell you 5's story mode was the worst.
I've heard that it's basically my little sister can't be this cute.
But
in video game form.
In terms of everything else with Soul Calibur 5, like gameplay mechanics, arcade mode, everything was there. And it was good. It was just the story mode sucked and the online was pretty laggy.
So like Tekken 6, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Although I did enjoy 6.
Fair enough.
So yeah, Soul Calibur 5 sucks, kind of. Soul Calibur 6, hopefully they redeem themselves. They are bringing back characters. They've already announced Sophitia is coming back because she was not in 5. Instead, they made a different character, pretty much use her moveset. And pretty interesting to see some of the core characters from Soul Calibur that are going to come back in 6 that were not in 5. And the trailer...
I really want to make a crack about how I hope they bring back Necros.
See, the trailer for 6 debuted at the Game Awards, and it was a pretty good-looking trailer. I just hope they actually have a good story mode this time around.
Yeah. Like, I kind of liked the extra modes and stuff in 2 and 3.
Yes.
And I've seen playthroughs of Soul Calibur 1 where the story mode was really interesting, but I think that 4's, like, mini arcade mode was kind of shitty.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It was good. It was okay, but like the ending movies were all really good. It's just that it was like 5 stages, and usually 2 or 3 of them are the exact same.
Yeah, and like 2 of them were boss fights.
Yeah, and they're not very difficult boss fights either. Like you can win most of Soul Calibur story mode through ring outs.
So
in 4.
So that's basically my number 2. And if there is a collector's edition announced for this, you can bet your ass I'm buying it. So I know.
Honestly,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna jump to number 1, but if you want to say something else, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna make a comment about. I really hope that they bring back Yoda or Darth Vader, and they include another Yoda or Darth Vader T-shirt. But obviously, that's not gonna happen.
Oh Jesus!
Like, who do you think they'll have for guest characters in 6?
I don't know, because see what I really liked about 2 was the fact that it was on all platforms.
Yeah.
And each platform had a console-exclusive character, because at the time, Tekken was a PlayStation exclusive, so it had the PlayStation version had Heihachi. The Nintendo GameCube version obviously had Link, and the Xbox version, because Spawn at the time was an Xbox exclusive, the Xbox version had Spawn. Soul Calibur 3 did not have a guest character. 4 had the PlayStation version had
Darth Vader, and
Vader,
the Xbox had Yoda.
Yeah, Xbox had Yoda, but then like a couple years later, they flip-flopped, and then, PlayStation got Yoda as a buyable DLC, and Xbox got Vader as a buyable DLC. So then they became no longer exclusive characters anymore.
Yeah.
Guest characters, yes, but no longer exclusive. And 5 had Ezio from Assassin's Creed 2, I believe it is.
See, what I'm really hoping for this is... I don't know what's currently out on the Xbox One, but imagine if we got, like William from Neo, or the Hunter from Bloodborne for PS4, and then Shulk from Xenoblade.
Oh, I don't even know if... I don't think Soul Calibur 6 was announced yet for the Switch. But I really hope it comes out on the system. I really do.
That would be awesome.
But
you can dream.
So yeah, moving on to number 1, and I know this is your number 1, and it's also mine.
Do you want to guess what it is?
It's your number 1 and my number 1. And
fuck! So it's Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Exactly. Yeah, Dragon Ball FighterZ or Dragon Ball FighterZ, however you want to pronounce it. I'm looking very forward to this game, and
oh yeah.
Not just because it's the only game I pre-ordered yet this year, and not just because it comes out in 19 days, but...
That's too long.
I played the closed beta because me and my brother, we both entered the beta. I entered the PS4 beta sign-up. He did the Xbox, so it's like we had 2 chances to play it. So and he got lucky enough to get picked, and I wrote this in that Jotaku article about that, and... I thoroughly enjoyed what I played, and not being a fan of Arc System Works fighters, I think this was really well done.
So, I am a fan of Arc System Works fighters, and from what footage I've seen of fighters, it looks extremely good, especially because it seems to take a lot of inspiration from Marvel vs. Capcom.
Right.
But it also fixes a lot of the problems that Marvel vs. Capcom has, where it's like, are you familiar with the phrase touch of death?
No.
Basically what it means is that if you're a good enough player, when you touch your opponent, they're basically dead.
Huh.
And it's especially problematic in Marvel vs. Capcom, because what happens is one character dies, the next one jumps in, and if you're a savvy enough player, you can just just continue the combo on that character that jumps in.
Oh, right, because you could catch them in midair.
Yeah.
Right.
Whereas in Fighters, it's like they have the two characters clash.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. I do think that I'm interested to see what the Dragon Balls do. I'm really hoping that it's just revives a dead character.
What about Android 21?
Dude, I like redheads. I like glasses.
Now, let me ask you a question. When they first showed her off, she was a redhead. But in newer illustrations I've seen, she has brown hair.
I'm disappointed.
So what... Did they, like, make a change because maybe fans didn't like her as a redhead, so they changed her hair color? Or is this going to be, like, maybe an alternate costume thing where you could change her hair color, too?
Well, it's funny because I'm looking at her on the Dragon Ball Wiki right now, and literally all the images are her, like, with red or dark red hair. Like, I don't see any with brown at all.
I've seen quite a few on Facebook with her with brown hair.
I'm also colorblind, so you know.
But, so yeah, what do you think, like, her story is gonna, like, entail? Because this is a brand new character, and as of right now, she's exclusive to this game.
Man, I don't know. I'm kind of excited just for the story itself, because I've heard that I've seen a little bit, like, I have tried to keep myself in the dark on Fighters as much as humanly possible. But it looks like it's going to be a lot more like classic Dragon Ball, where it's like, oh, we have these, it's kind of high stakes, but we're going to joke about it.
So you didn't get to play the closed beta, right, back in September?
No, because life isn't fair.
So you're definitely going to jump on that open beta next weekend, because I know I am.
The only day that I'm busy is Saturday, and I think you said that it starts at, like, what, 3 a.m. on Saturday?
3 a.m. on Sunday.
Oh, fuck, okay. Hopefully I don't work. And if I do work, then I'm just going to call in sick.
Now, I could tell you from experience, I played with the closed beta, some of the characters can be, like, really exploited to the point where it's probably going to become controller breaking rage at this point. Frieza is a ranged character, and a lot of his moves will travel across the screen. And one of his moves travels along the ground, and it's hard to dodge from what I've seen.
Okay.
And when he turns golden form, he becomes faster, and obviously his attacks are a bit stronger. So I think that because he has a lot of projectile potential for spamming, I have a feeling he's going to be an OU character, which, OU overused.
Do you think that maybe they'll nerf that, though, from the last beta that you played?
I hope so. I really don't want Frieza to be a broken character.
No.
Because from what I've seen, he's going to be very easily spammable, to the point where you could stand on the opposite side of the screen and still hit your opponent without even trying.
What I really want is for them to give Frieza a super that just cuts him in half with the Kiens on.
Oh,
that'd be fucking hilarious.
And speaking of cheapness, Android 16 has an instant kill ultimate attack.
Yeah, but doesn't it require, like, that you're extremely close?
You have to be close range, but my brother is really good at landing this move, so it's not that hard to do.
Okay.
And you can instantly end the match doing this. Now, you only get one shot because you kill yourself while you're doing this move. So, like, you're going to sacrifice Android 16 to take out your opponent. So, let's say your opponent is on their last character and you still have Android 16. You're using Android 16 and you still have one more character on your team.
You might as well.
You hit this ultimate move and say your opponent's health bar is completely full. That ultimate move will kill your opponent in one hit.
It's like Chaozu, but actually effective.
It'll blow up your own character, but as long as you still have one more teammate, you automatically win the fight.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that's going to go.
I hope that gets nerfed as well, or I hope they completely change that, because I could see a lot of people trolling with that. And that's another thing I don't want to see.
Personally, I don't like playing close-range characters in fighters, so, like, I guess the proper term would be grapplers, like any character that has 720 motions with the joystick.
Right.
Fuck that.
So those are my thoughts on the game. I'm definitely going to play the beta next week. It's an open beta, so actually I could stream it, more than likely.
I can't wait.
So if I could stream it, I'm going to stream it because I don't think they're going to show off anything in the story mode at all. It's probably just going to be more playing against the CPU and playing online.
Yeah, let me know, because if I can get into that beta, we should totally have a match.
Well, yeah, you can, because it's going to be an open beta. It's open to everybody.
Oh, right, duh.
So, yeah, we definitely should play against each other. And if we could play on stream, that'd be even more interesting.
What moments do you want from fighters? Like, what do you want to see for fan service?
As far as fan service, I just want to see a really good, fleshed out story, to be honest.
Yeah.
I want to see good story. I want to see balanced, characters. Like I said, Frieza, I think, is going to get abused.
Rose, are you implying that Dragon Ball Z has any semblance of balance?
Well, I know, like, based on the anime, it certainly doesn't, but, they try to regulate it as much as they can for the games. But like I said, I don't want to see, like, characters like Frieza get abused, because it's gonna happen if they didn't change him a little bit. And, the Android 16 thing has a lot of potential to, like, piss people off as well. But
yeah, that's true. The only thing that I want is I just want either a comment on how many of the other characters in Dragon Ball became very irrelevant very quickly, or the trademark Yamcha pose.
So
didn't they once release a figure that's Yamcha in the fucking the Cyberman pose, like when he dies?
I don't know, to be honest. But I have a question for you. Since I don't think we know all the characters in the game right now, as far as the main roster goes. Like, how many characters do you think are going to be in this game? Like, I know there's at least over 20.
That's a good question. I'm interested to see what we get for DLC.
Yeah, I mean, I hope they bring back some characters that were, like, kind of forgotten about, like characters like Tapion. That would be pretty cool. They actually brought him into Xenoverse 2, so, as a DLC, like, very late in the game. So maybe they'll bring him in as a DLC for Fighter Z, or Fighters, however you want to pronounce it.
Okay.
But I do have the Collector's Edition pre-ordered, $140 later.
See, it's $200 Canadian.
Damn. So
I was gonna pick it up, and then I was like, I don't have the money for this, plus my other pre-orders.
So I am going to do an unboxing of that game, and I'm also going to a WWE event that night, so I'm going to be pretty tired. So when I come home, I'm going to try to stream it, but I don't think I'm going to have much of a voice left, so...
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. Those are the what we know for right now as our most anticipated games of the year. I want to start off with the 18 listed Switch games that were promptly removed from Amazon.
Man, I'm most excited for Switch game number 7.
Hey man, I like number 17, number 3.
Oh, dude, number 3 is so hyped, but number one looks like a pile of dog shit.
Yo, number 18 looked like it had the best graphics, man, but gameplay-wise, I think it's crap.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, for those of you who don't know, what happened was Amazon JP?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so Amazon JP ended up listing 18 Switch games with essentially placeholder titles, like Switch Game 1 to Switch Game 18, but then they were promptly removed. How long was it after they had gone up?
Well, based on when I saw the article and I tried to click on the links, they were already gone.
Fuck.
That might have been the same day.
So what do you think the deal is with this?
I think
Why do
maybe
you think this happened?
I think maybe Amazon might know something that, we don't know. And I think they just wanted to, maybe jump the gun by, announcing that, hey, we got 18... There's going to be 18 Switch games coming out this year, but right now we can't tell you nothing. And I think when they posted that, Nintendo might have said, hey, take that down,
Yeah, which I think is a very fair thing to do, because we don't... Even if there are 18 Switch games planned for 2018, that doesn't mean we're going to get 18 Switch games.
Right. And some of them, they're probably not all first-party games either.
No.
And this happened last week. It says last week Amazon posted 18 different product listing pages for Nintendo Switch. Each titled Switch title with a number, and then there's an image here to confirm that. One of these games was listed at $74.99. It looks like one was $79.99. One listed at $99.99. Another one at $99.99. So like these obviously are like randomly priced because they're not all the same prices. And I don't think there's ever going to be a Nintendo Switch game that's going to be over $60. It says that
you need to come to Canada. Switch games here are $80, just straight up. They're the same price as PS4 games.
So it says the pages used an image with the Switch logo and the words "just announced" at the Nintendo Switch event, which was taken from the Nintendo Switch presentation last year in January. All the placeholder pages have since been taken down. Previously, there has been speculation of a Nintendo Direct in January 2018, which I mentioned earlier. Thanks to previously leaked campaign roadmaps for FE. I guess that means Fire Emblem. So, but the Nintendo Switch Direct for this month has yet to be officially confirmed by Nintendo. But if we
I'm looking it up right now.
But if we do get a Direct this month, it sounds like it's going to be a pretty fucking big one.
One of the things that I'm looking at is apparently there was a Pokemon leak. I don't know if that's accurate or not, though.
I think I heard about that one, yeah.
Yeah, it just came out yesterday.
Really? Is there like an article about it?
I'm reading it on express.co.uk, so I don't know how accurate this is.
Ah, okay. Well, I mean, it is a rumor, so... I mean,
honestly.
It is a rumor, so if there's anything there, feel free to, read it out.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. It says new bookmarks have been found, or new trademarks have been found that apparently point to Nintendo and Game Freak calling their next Pokemon games Pokemon 1 and Pokemon 0. Yeah, 'cause that's not going to be confusing.
Really?
Apparently there's a new art design, but it's likely a work in progress. And that's all we really know right now.
Alright. So, moving on from potentially leaked titles. Well, listings anyways. Let's talk about how the Nintendo Switch pretty much kicked the console war's ass in 2017.
See, I'm not surprised that the Switch is the fastest selling console. And the reason for that is because the Switch launched with a very strong library, I think. Breath of the Wild in particular was like, it was the one thing that... Okay. I buy mostly Sony consoles. So I bought a PS Vita when it came out. I bought a PS4 when it came out, and I pre-ordered them, so I got them a week early. And the problem with those two consoles was finding stuff that I actually wanted to play within the first week, or within that first several months. So usually what happens is you get stuck with these really shitty games that you don't really want, but you buy something so that you validate purchasing the console. Whereas not only does the Switch have, very interesting functionality in that it's extremely portable, but it also had games that actually made people want to buy the console.
I see. So, apparently, in 10 months alone, I'm guessing from March 3rd when it released to January 3rd this year.
4.8 million units.
Yeah, so almost 5 million units in the U.S. alone. And that doesn't account for, the rest of the world, because I believe they said, over 15 million units were sold already?
Let me look at the Silicon article that you posted.
As I'm looking on here, it doesn't mention total sales.
No.
But I'm pretty sure, I know it's definitely over 10 million. I think it's at 15 million.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't see anything in this article that says that.
Yeah,
confirms it.
This says Nintendo announced that its Switch console had become the fastest selling console in U.S. history. Since March 3rd, 2017, it has sold more than 4.8 million units in the United States alone in the first 10 months. According to Nintendo's internal sales figures, that makes it the highest total for the first 10 months of any home console in the U.S., surpassing Nintendo's very own Wii system, which was the previous record holder, with over 4 million units sold in the same time frame. Then it says the Nintendo Switch mainstream. Start that over. The Nintendo Switch momentum has been fueled with some strong libraries of games, which you mentioned. More than 60% of Switch owners that bought Super Mario Odyssey, and over 55% of owners bought Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, for some strong attach rates for the console. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has an attach rate of over 50%, and Splatoon 2 with over 20%. This year, Nintendo Switch owners can look forward to upcoming Nintendo patented titles such as Kirby Star Allies, which is a new Kirby game that was announced at E3, Bayonetta 1 and 2, and I believe Bayonetta 3, a new game starring Yoshi. Nintendo says fans can expect continued support from major publishers such as EA, Activision, Ubisoft, Capcom, Sega, Take-Two, and Bethesda, plus a growing catalog of quality content from indie devs. So, sounds like we have, and that's just from Nintendo, and that sounds like a lot to look forward to alone.
Yeah. The one thing that I really want that I feel like the Switch is lacking right now is Virtual Console.
Yes, absolutely. Speaking of Virtual Console, what do you think of Nintendo delaying again their paid service until the fall of this year, when it was supposed to start this month?
Honestly, I'm kind of happy just because that means that it's another, X amount of dollars a month that I get to save.
I mean, it's only $20 a year. I don't know what that is.
That's true. It's better than PlayStation Plus, which is like $60 a year. But, yeah, I don't really know how to feel about it, because what perks do we get besides being able to play online? Like, I haven't really looked into it all that much.
So, yeah, the number of Switches sold is definitely over 10 million. I think it was announced that it had surpassed the Wii U already, but I'm not seeing anything that confirms it. But, yeah, so we'll know more on that later on. I'm sure they're going to announce a total when the first year is up. But, hey, man, I've been saying since the Switch was first announced officially that the console had to have a good, strong first year. And I think they heavily succeeded.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking into the online service, but the only thing I don't really like is the PlayStation Plus-esque, like, here's our backlog, you can download these games for a month, at a time.
But the thing is, at least PlayStation and Xbox, they let you keep those games forever as long as the service stays active. Nintendo takes that away from you after a month, and then you download the game for a month, and then you lose it, but then the next month you get something else.
Well, a spokesperson said that users can play as many games as they want, as often as they like, as long as they have an active subscription. So it's similar to Sony's PlayStation Plus service, but the company today confirmed to Kotaku that all the games under the umbrella would be available for all subscribers in a library.
Right, but
so basically, it's better than PlayStation Plus.
But I think it's only like I don't know, maybe they're going to change this, but it was announced that like the games would only be available monthly, and then you would have to buy them if you wanted to keep them.
That's bullshit.
After that 1 month, I hope they change that because that would suck.
Yeah, that's kind of.
But moving on from Nintendo, I promise we're going to get back to Nintendo. This is something I didn't actually tell you about because this was announced yesterday. This was announced yesterday by NIS America, Inc. This is something you may be interested in. They posted this on Facebook yesterday at 1 p.m. on their Facebook page. It says, save the date. Our press event will take place this year on February 9th in San Francisco, California at the Folsom Street Foundry. Get ready for some sweet announcements and watch it live when we take the stage. More information is coming, but first, hype it up. You'll be able to watch the press event live on our Twitch channel, so be sure to follow us there, twitch.tv/NISAmerica.
So what do you think they're going to announce?
And they have a screen, they have a banner they made for it.
Yeah, it's a bunch of Disgaea characters.
Yeah, I see Marona, Etna, Prinny, Laharl, and I'm not recognizing the girl.
That's just
on the
a
left.
standard. One of them is a standard mage from Disgaea.
Oh, right. Yeah, I don't
think that's Marona. I think that's just a female warrior.
Is it? Maybe it is.
Yeah, Marona's outfit is different.
Oh, okay, but I know she has green hair too, so.
Yeah.
But since they're showing Disgaea characters, I really hope they announce Disgaea 6.
Yeah.
I really hope they do, and if they do, it'll come out this year, for sure.
Honestly, I haven't touched Disgaea 5 since I bought it, which is really a shame.
Considering you got the better edition, too, I think.
Oh, I did. All the DLCs included. And you can access it from the very beginning, too.
Speaking of Disgaea 5, just a small announcement. There is a NISAmerica sale going on right now on the North American PlayStation Store. Games like Disgaea 5, Grand Kingdom, Cladun, and Birthday's Beginnings. These are all games that are on sale right now, so if you haven't played Disgaea 5...
it's like $21 right now, I believe. Or for Canadian sales.
If you're interested in Disgaea 5, since that's their main line, their main series game, their flagship series, it's on sale right now, and even though it's not the complete edition like what the Switch got, it's still definitely worth playing, especially if you don't have a Switch or you're not a Nintendo fan. So I definitely recommend getting Disgaea 5 on the PS4 if you haven't already. There's only a few days left of the sale. I think it ends on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think, but they still have another week of sales after that for something else.
Right.
Because their holiday sale, I can't remember which titles it is, but some of the listings are until the 16th.
Because last year at their press event, they announced Wise 8.
Oh, that was a shit show, though.
They announced that game.
I apologize for the localization. That was terrible.
They announced that game, and they announced the RPG Maker Fez for Nintendo. So I'm really looking forward to what they announced this year.
I'm gonna mute myself for a second. I'm going to the washroom.
All right. And I'm hoping they have. Disgaea 6 on the card this year, because Disgaea 5 came out in 2015, I believe. So this would be 3 years since then. So I think it's about time to put out the next version. So, moving on from that, there is one more thing to talk about, and that is the major rumor 5.0 firmware update for the Nintendo Switch that pretty much has been debunked by some YouTubers like GameXplain. Let me click on this real quick so I can get the article that this video is based on. Nope, shut up. Alright, so here's the source. It's actually a YouTube video.
Alright, I'm back.
I have a Twitter post here.
But, yeah, regarding... I didn't get to chime in before we moved on, but how pissed would you be if they announced, like, Disgaea D3? Instead of Disgaea 6? Or would you be upset at that?
I don't think I would be, because I like D2. It was one of my favorite games.
Haven't touched it yet.
D2 is a very good sequel to the original, so if they do that again, I would not mind at all.
Honestly, I'd be more interested in them continuing 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, something along those lines, that could be cool too.
Yeah.
But, so this is the Nintendo... Oh wow, the video's been removed by the user. So now that his shit has been confirmed fake. He removed his video.
Oh, that sucks.
I can't even get the guy's username. I guess maybe that's for the better. Now, he put out a video showcasing the rumor firmware update number 5, and what he showed off looked really good.
Yeah, I was excited when you first showed it to me, but then I looked it up and was kind of upset that it was fake.
He was showing off that the firmware update was going to bring more apps. It was going to bring, like YouTube app, Hulu app, Twitch app, an internet browser. It was going to bring in, I think it was like a party chat or something. That was going to be brought up for the Switch to make talking to friends on the Switch a lot easier. But
see, I couldn't care less about that. I was more excited for new themes and the ability to organize your shit into folders.
Yes, the themes and the folders, that was also a big thing. Now, that's not to say that when the 5.0 update does happen, some of this may actually make it in.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean it all will. But how this all got debunked, and I'm going to read this Twitter post by Big Red N on Twitter, at big_red_n on Twitter. The system update leak is fake. The console has Mario Kart 8 Deluxe downloaded digitally, which takes up 6.8 gigabytes of space, but only 2 gigabytes of system memory is taken up. Less than 3.2 gigs on the SD card storage is taken up, and only 0.9 gigs of cloud storage is taken up. And then Game Explained goes in to further debunk this by saying that if you pay attention to the apps window on the video, you can see that he used the old YouTube logo from a couple years ago and not the new current one. And they questioned why, if Nintendo was going to include a YouTube app. Game Explained questioned why they would use the old logo and not the current one, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, the PS4 and the Xbox One
uses the old one, doesn't it?
Yeah, they also use the old logo. They haven't changed it to the new logo for their app thumbnail. But to be fair, those apps have been around, much longer, and when that old logo was the standard at the time. So they just didn't update it. So, but I don't think Nintendo, putting in a new app to the console is going to use an old logo.
No, probably not.
So, but yeah, that got all debunked, and like I said, maybe the guy won't be a complete liar when the update does actually happen at some point. But when the update happens, what do you hope to see in the actual update?
The things that I really want to see are as follows. Although unrelated to the XMB itself, I really want Virtual Console functionality. And more importantly, I think that the eShop needs to be just reorganized from the ground up. It's really not very good.
Yeah, it's a mess.
It's fucking terrible. Especially if you're looking for DLC for things that you already own. It's just, ugh. Second is, I really want the ability to organize my things into folders, because I have some pretty severe OCD and I like having my shit properly sorted. I don't really own much for the Switch, though, so it's not really that big of a deal. And thirdly is, I guess I'd like to have the themes and updated avatars. Or the ability to purchase more.
Right.
Because one of the things that I find very lacking about the Switch, even though I don't dislike the current light and dark themes that are default in the current spread of avatars, is that it really feels like you can't give your console much in the way of personality.
Right.
And for some people that's really, for me that's not very important, but I like to have that option. Like, the way Sony does PS4 themes is really nice, because you can change even everything down to the system music and the way the system music, the sound effects, the backgrounds, and even down to like the default icons for stuff.
And also, their themes are two layered too.
Yeah,
which is nice. The image changes, like when you move from the bottom row of stuff to the top row, the image changes.
I would highly recommend downloading the Neo Geo theme. It's really good.
Really? You have to buy it though, right?
I think it's free.
Ooh, I have to check that out.
Like some of them, like the Garou and King of Fighters 2000 themes, I'm pretty sure that those are paid because they come with the game when you buy them.
Right.
But as far as I know, the Neo Geo and I believe it's Art of Fighting, maybe it's Fatal Fury, those are free.
So as far as the new update for me, personally, I wouldn't mind an internet browser being added to it because, like, if I'm already on the console, it'll, it's ease of access. Like, if I want to look something up real quick, I don't actually have to leave the console to go to my computer or use my phone to look something up, as long as it's not going to be a shitty browser like the PS4 one.
Oh, God. The PS4 one's terrible.
Yeah, it is. Folders, I wouldn't mind as well. Some customization for the console personality. I agree. I agree with you there. One thing I would love for them to do in the 5.0 update is give a option of how you want to add your friends, by either using the stupid friend code bullshit or by letting you search for friends by their Nintendo ID.
Yeah, if they're gonna make us have a Nintendo ID, then that should be the gold standard for adding a friend.
Because it was on the Wii U. Why did they regress with that? I don't understand it. So those are my thoughts on that. This rumor was quickly shot down, and the guy took down his video. Although when I first looked at this, it really reminded me of those Super Smash Bros. Wii U character reveal trailers.
Mm-hmm.
How some of those were really well done and they looked very convincing. And it kind of felt like that, but the guy slipped up and left enough cracks in his videos so that it could easily be torn down. Like I said, hopefully when the new update comes out, this guy won't look like a total liar and some of what he leaked or tried to leak will actually be true.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, is there anything else you wanna make mention of before we wrap this episode up and call it done until episode 2?
Man, I was gonna spout some memes, but I kind of lost them. Yeah, actually, one thing I wanted to note with regard to Dragon Ball FighterZ is I really hope that it doesn't turn out to be a Salt Fest.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I played the story demo for Capcom Infinite, and
that
just the way that it
sucks.
feels is wrong to me.
That game sucks.
It's like, how when your body touches something that it shouldn't, and you just your skin kind of writhes and you recoil in horror. That was like me playing Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, especially after they did so well with Ultimate Marvel 3.
Right.
Also, I really hope that the humor in that is on point. If there's no Yamcha death pose, I'm going to be really sad.
Well, I could tell you that Fighter Z, I think everything was hand drawn, and it looks a lot like the anime graphics, which is really a nice touch. Also,
I just one thing I'd like to see is fun. And I know it's not going to happen. Is Funimation lifting a few jokes from Team 4 Star?
I mean, it's possible because Team 4 Star actually did help with development of the Xenoverse games.
Yeah.
So it is possible.
I really want Chris Sabat's Vegeta to at one point scream, "I am the hype." Or for that to be an available online title, is the hype.
Well, you never know. Yeah, we have about 2.5 weeks to figure it all out.
Yeah, that's too long.
But,
let's go gather the Dragon Balls and we'll wish for advanced copies.
Right? Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's really all I have to say.
Well, I think that wraps up episode 1 as a whole for the Corner podcast. One more thing I want to say is I think on February 9th, I think we should do a special episode where we can be on, not live streaming, but, doing this with our reactions to what they show off at the press conference for NIS America.
Oh, yeah, I'm down for that.
And if there is like a big January direct, maybe we should do one of those too, depending on how big it is.
Yeah, I'm interested.
So that's all planned. That's going to be all down the line. We got over a month to worry about the NIS America thing, and we still don't know if there's a January direct. If there is, we'll keep you posted. But that was episode 1 of the Game Corner podcast. Appreciate you guys giving us a chance. Subscribe if you like it. Like the video if you did. Dislike it if you didn't. If you didn't like it, I'm sorry. We try. We're going to get better. We're going to get better as the weeks go on. I mentioned in part 1 that this may not be an every weekend thing because there will be weekends where I'll be out of town. Like if I go to my dad's house for a weekend, and I obviously won't be able to record or upload. So when that time comes, I'll let you guys know. Or if, I'm sick and I'm not going to be recording with a cold or strep throat or something. So when that time comes, I'll let you guys know. Sometimes will be by myself, like if Cypher's too busy to join me on an episode part or an entire episode, that's fine. The times he's available is great. If not, it's no big deal. I'll do my best on my own. But thanks for following us. For those of you that do, check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Check out Black Sakura on Facebook. We have a Twitter for Black Sakura as well, but unfortunately, it's
a little bit inactive.
Yeah, it's a little bit neglected. Check out Erin Fitzgerald on Facebook, Twitter, and her website. If you go to her website, you can find a link to her ebook and her ebook audiobook combo. It's a great source for learning advice and some tips on how to become a voice actor if that is your desired interest. Thanks for watching this, folks. For Cypher, my name is The Rose, and until next weekend, we'll catch your ass down the road.